Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Speculating Disney Parks. I am the nostalgic Disney fan, Sam, and with me, as always, is the new age Disney fan, Porter. Tonight, we're going to be
Howdy.
discussing Liberty Square and Frontierland. Liberty Square is kind of small. I feel like this episode wouldn't take very long if we just talked about Liberty Square, and it's a lot of overlap with Frontierland, it seems like, with the riverboat. So figured it's best to get it all in one episode. But first, a little bit of great news. Dining plan is coming back and park reservations are going away. Yes.
Thank
Spectacular
goodness.
news.
That's supposed to take place next year. Is that what they were
For
saying?
next January for the dining plan. I don't know about, or no, theme park reservations. Dining plan. I didn't see a timeline on that one.
Okay.
It's
Now,
possible it was released and I missed it, but
was there a rumor too that they were like gonna make the lightning lane stuff a little simpler?
they are working on that. They're going to
Okay.
make Genie Plus and Lightning Link easier, which, oh, I'm so glad because it was so confusing. And as I don't know if I've said this in an earlier episode, but I got confused and ended up I thought I was getting Lightning Lane for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure and wasn't paying close attention to it. Stuff got moved around, I think, and ended up getting Lightning Lane for Living with the Land. Skip
Yep.
3 minutes of that line.
Right. When we went to the lightning lane, it was a 5 minute wait, and we probably ended up waiting 5 minutes to the lightning lane anyway. So
It was, I mean, it makes for a funny story, but it still kind of made me mad that I paid for that.
yeah, the transition between the fast pass system and Genie Plus just wasn't smooth. I think they weren't similar enough. Like if you're gonna switch systems like that, you gotta make the transition a little smoother
Exactly.
for people. So I'm glad they're taking some steps to simplify the system.
Oh yeah, I think I think the magic might return for some people.
So
So let's dive into this episode here. What we're going to talk about. You should see. Oh, let me hit the share button. Okay, you should see a map of Magic Kingdom.
there it is.
Okay. So for starters, okay. You're going to be like this. Let's see. Okay. Since we left off in Fantasyland, we'll start this way. In the first attraction, if the haunted man, okay, now just a reminder, we talk about, whether or not these rides are safe, it's within the next 10 years. If the haunted mansion isn't safe, then what is safe in Disney World? Anything could be rethemed if Haunted Mansion gets rethemed. That ride is top of the list safe in my opinion.
Yeah, I they might as well get rid of Cinderella's castle if they're gonna get rid of the haunted
Exactly.
mansion. It's safe.
I will say I don't remember who started it, but about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, somebody tried to start a rumor that Haunted Mansion was being rethemed to Coco, and I I about lost it. So I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense at all. Until of course I figured out that they were just doing that on purpose, just trying to get people worked up. But
Some wild speculation there.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, that makes no sense at all. It does not fit. Coco does not fit Liberty Square.
While we're on the topic of haunted mansion, I think one thing that I think I've talked with this to you before, but in the graveyard scene, when
Mm.
those singing marble heads come around, they're the classic heads. Um,
Oh, you're talking about in the
any
ride.
Yeah,
I for
in
some
the
odd reason when
graveyard
you
scene.
said graveyard scene, I was thinking of the queue, but because there are
Oh, no, no, no.
gravestones there. But okay, never
True,
mind. So you're talking
true.
about the ride. Okay,
Yes. So during the ride, when you're going through that final graveyard scene and the marble heads are singing "Grim Grinning Ghosts,"
yeah.
they use the projection technology on those, and I think it looks goofy as heck in in that space. There's these bright projection screens on these heads, whereas everything else is sort of dim and harder to see. I really
Um,
wish they'd go back to just some sort of animatronic. I know that they would, break down a lot, but I
I
just
want
think
to
those
say that
projections just
some
break
of
the
the
immersion.
others there had the projection faces.
Yeah, there's like the bride on that ride. Like
Uh,
I know that she has projection a couple times.
yeah, she has projection face in the attic scene and at the end when she's going, hurry back.
Yeah, where she's like the size of she's like 6 inches tall. Yeah,
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, those aren't too bad in my opinion. It's just those singing heads. I wish they would just make them a little less bright.
I wonder if it's a maintenance thing is the reason why they did that because
Yeah, it could be.
excuse me. I kind of wonder if it's a maintenance thing because I don't know, maybe the animatronic faces are just harder to maintain if 'cause, I mean, you look at an example of an animatronic face that fails a lot is Ariel and Journey of the Little Mermaid and that Voyage, whichever one it is. I get them mixed up so much. Let's just check. Okay, this is Journey of the Little Mermaid. Okay, Journey of the Little Mermaid. Ariel's face messes up a lot, and that's not that old of a ride. So I just kind of wonder if it's for the sake of convenience, they did the projection face. That's the one case I don't mind because the face actually matches the skin tone, whereas like on Frozen, I know it's like the face is so much brighter than the rest of the
Than like the
skin, and you're
neck.
just like,
Yeah,
that looks off.
it just yeah, it looks bizarre, but so they're just
That's
tiny things. The ride itself is basically perfect. So
oh yeah, like one of the perfect, the queue, the ride itself,
the pre-show,
everything about it is just it's flawless.
oh, classic. Oh, actually, one other idea that I had for Haunted Mansion that I know I've talked with you before, um, is like expanding it a little bit so that there's some sort of like seating area amongst the gravestones. They'd have to dig into that area behind Haunted Mansion, and that might be like some backstage, like working area right now. But
Okay,
um,
just to clarify, gravestones in the queue, correct?
yeah, yeah, this
Okay,
time in the
okay.
queue, um, just to provide like a sitting area, some more space. I think that would be a great place, a nice shady spot to put some trees and allow people to get away from the madness of Magic Kingdom.
That area right here, if you look where my mouse is, right here is like has to be one of the most peaceful areas in the Magic Kingdom because you can just kind of sit there. It's real
Yeah,
creepy. Okay, I guess that right there is also the. Oh wait, no. Okay, the steamboat entrance is down. Okay, okay, the riverboat entrance is down here, but up here, it's like it's just real calm. Like it's kind of peaceful, and you get a real. Depending on the time of day, you might get a real beautiful view of front of Big Thunder Mountain.
yeah. No, there's a lot they could do around that area that I mean, Liberty Square is already so tiny that it could do with a little bit of extra space. But you know,
So moving on to the next attraction, the Liberty Square Riverboat. Well, actually, no, you start this one.
I mean, unless they do something with the river itself, I don't really see this going anywhere. It's this was something that Walt Disney was always um, happy to have in the park. So it's one of those mainstays to keep the spirit of Walt alive in the parks. I, I would say it's safe if we're using the 10-year time frame. Um, but I mean, I really don't know that many people that are like, yeah, the steamboat, let's do it too. So that's why I would say it's safe, but I don't feel very strongly about that opinion.
I I'm gonna lean on the side of not safe because I think Disney's gonna start to revamp this area and it might not have the Mark Twain theme that it had previously. I'm not entirely sure what the theme is now on it, but I think it's going to get rethemed to something pretty soon. Like the attraction is pretty hard to replace, but I mean, what else are you going to do with that? But I think a retheme is coming. I don't really know what to, because there's a lot of stuff that's been speculated with Tom Sawyer's Island there.
Yeah, yeah, that's true too.
I wouldn't be surprised if, I know it's not common for, unless it's like Toy Story Land, where you have everything themed, but let's say all the Disney rumors come true that Frontierland gets rethemed to Bayou Land or something, and it turns into stuff that's mostly Princess and the Frog.
Yeah,
I could see them having that Splash Mountain attraction and a riverboat attraction that could be, a little more, for the kids who don't like to do Splash Mountain. I was one of those kids. I was terrified of drops then. If you don't want to do Splash Mountain, but you want to do something Princess and the Frog theme, you could have that right there.
yeah, absolutely.
So, next attraction in Liberty Square, the last attraction in Liberty Square, is the Hall of Presidents. That ride is pretty safe, because that was one of Walt's original dream was to, have all the president animatronics. Couldn't do it, so he just did the, one with Abraham Lincoln at Disneyland. So, and it's also one of the few places you can find the presidential seal. So I think that ride's safe. It's a great break from the sun, and it's, if you're into history like, Taylor and I are, my sister and I, it's fun.
Yeah, I think it's safe too. Unless Liberty Square undergoes some sort of major transformation, I don't see them getting rid of this one. It's not one of my personal favorites. You know, if I need to get out of the sun, then I want to see what one of the new presidents looks like as an animatronic, then sure. Um, but I do think it's safe.
Yeah, it is a I do think that it's, yeah, I mean, it's a nice break from the sun and everything. I'm sorry, I was just looking up. It just hit me that I remember when I went on that ride, Joe Biden only gave the oath of office and didn't have a speech. And I remember
Hmm.
Obama and Trump giving speeches, but Bush, I don't really remember too well if he did or not. I think he did. But
Yeah, there's
Biden, I
probably
was
a
just,
recording of it.
sorry.
There's probably a recording of it. We can look into that
Yeah, I was
afterwards.
wondering that. I was just trying to see if I could find something on Google real quick, but all it's saying is he's just doing the oath. So if anybody knows why he only did the oath of office, I'd be curious to know. Don't tell me your political opinions. I just want to know why he only did the oath of office.
Yeah,
I
this
thought
is a
I was a little
politics-free
surprised
podcast.
by it, but you know,
Yeah, no, that is interesting. Who knows what conversations occur behind closed doors about this sort of thing. You know, I'm sure there's some small reason that doesn't matter that much.
yeah.
But you know, we'll see.
So moving on to Frontierland, our first attraction. Oops.
I think it'll be Country Bears, right? Unless we count the
You
shooting
are
arcade.
correct. Country Bear Jamboree. What you think on this
Uh,
one?
ugh, I'm really trying to not let my personal feelings for this ride or the attraction get in the way. Because I love this show. It's so fun. One of my favorite parts about going to Frontierland for sure. But in the next 10 years, is it still going to be there? I think so. I haven't been following Disney World long enough to know how often, if they redo certain parts of Magic Kingdom just one at a time, because Splash Mountain is undergoing a transformation right now. Let's say that wraps up and we get Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Um, would they then move on to something with Country Bears? I just think that's too much change for Tomorrowland in too short a period.
You mean Frontierland?
Or I'm sorry, Frontierland. Yeah, I was staring at Tomorrowland on the map. um, too much change for tomorrow. Geez, Frontierland in too little time. So I am going to say it's safe.
I'm gonna agree with you as well on that. As much as people want to say it's gonna get rethemed, it's still a super popular attraction. I mean, people get so into it. And I mean, even during busy months, I've seen not like the longest wait in the world, not like, the wait that you see for Turtle Talk with Crush, but it's still, I mean, it's a break from the AC, but unlike All the Presidents and American Adventure, you can't really fall asleep during that show. It's you
It's a
it gets
tootin' good
interactive
time.
in a way.
Yeah,
Everybody's clapping along, everybody's cheering. It's so much fun. I
I
mean,
can
if they
hardly
do
bear it.
replace it, they got to do a really good job of whatever they're going to replace it with.
Yeah, I remember that movie that came out about this. We had talked about that
Oh,
one cast member in the gift shop.
I barely remember that. It was like, are you talking about the 2003
You
Country Bears movie?
you barely remember.
Ah, I see what I did there. Anyways,
Yeah, I think it was around that time, but I remember seeing it and being kind of creeped out by the bears in the movie. Like they're kind of like what was that show? Bear in the Big Blue House.
oh yeah,
You know
that would
that
be around the
style of
same time, I think.
like it's almost like there's a person in there,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look quite real. I don't know, but it's safe.
So next on the list would be Tom Sawyer's Island. There has been a lot of buzz about this lately. A lot of people have been talking. There are people who want it rethemed, and then there are people who say, absolutely not. Let it be unpopular. It's a great break away from the craziness of Magic Kingdom. I think I don't think it's safe in the next 10 years. I think it's going to get rethemed to something, whether it be Encanto or trying to think of what
Mm,
else is popular. I don't know, maybe some other Disney movie that comes out soon that's real popular. I mean, okay, now the
yeah,
more I think about it, I'm not really sure what they retheme it to fit the Frontierland theme because Encanto is not really a. I don't really think of it as
it did
Frontier.
no.
It'd fit probably better in Adventureland, but I think this ride is. I think this place is probably going to get a retheme soon.
Yeah, I I mean I know they retheme this at Disneyland into like it's like a pirates thing, right?
I have no idea to be honest with you.
I think that's what they rethemed it to. It's like some like Pirates of the Caribbean experience. Um, Obviously you can't do that here because it's got to be either a part of Liberty Square or uh, Frontierland. So
Exactly.
I agree with you. I don't think I think if they were going to do something with this area, it would be towards the end of this 10-year mark that we're playing with. Um, but I mean, I could see them. Yeah, you know, the thing that comes to mind for me is Woody's Roundup, um, because that's sort of frontier, But they've already got so much Joy Story stuff across the resort. I, I really can't see them doing that again, you know, with this
Yeah, it
area.
would
So
it would get a little annoying with. I mean, don't get me wrong, Toy Story is legendary, but you can have a little too much if you're constantly adding it everywhere.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I could see this. I could see them turning it into sort of maybe like a multi-purpose or not multi-purpose, but like multi character area, something may be removed from Frontierland and Liberty Square. Like it's not themed to either of them. I think it would kind of look weird because you have Harper's Mill, which fits the Liberty Square Frontierland vibe. Just looking across the river at it, it still fits the theme. So this one stumps me. Send a DM to at Trader Sam Eagle on Instagram if you have any ideas. If you agree with us, let us know what you think they could possibly transform this island into.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear as well what other people have to think. Also, I looked it up. You were right. It's in Disneyland in 2007. It was rethemed and expanded as Pirate's Lair on Tom Sawyer Island, which 2007 would have been when At World's End was released for Pirates of the Caribbean. So that was like the height of Pirates of the Caribbean franchise's popularity right there, that time frame.
Okay. Okay.
That makes perfect sense why they would have rethemed it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So next on the list is this should be safe for a very long time. Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It's going to be around a long time, and
Yeah.
I love the original ride, but the music from Princess and the Frog was a lot of fun. So I have high hopes for this one.
Yeah, me too. And I really hope they do the movie justice with this ride or with this attraction. Because there's so much good material that they can just put in this area. I do hope they keep the track the same. They can retheme the rest of it all they want, but I think that just the track for Splash Mountain is like
Mm,
it's just amazing. Like the drops are just the right length. The ride itself feels like it's just the right length. So I hope they at least keep the track. But then yeah, go ham on those animatronics. Um,
they have to get those
yeah,
right.
like let's get some like cool lights in there. Let's make it feel like a party.
Please be animatronics with like the legitimate looking faces. I know in one of the I don't know if it's Hong Kong Disneyland or Shanghai or Tokyo, somewhere they showed the new Frozen ride and Elsa does not have a
Hmm.
projection face and it's like, can we have that?
I think that's in Hong Kong Disneyland.
Okay. But
But yeah, oh my
please
gosh, that would be
have
great.
the one thing though that I among many others on social media are going to be disappointed. Disney has the perfect opportunity for the build up to the drop to I mean, I know they're telling a news story, but could you bring back Are You Ready? Dun 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 dun. Because that's what made Splash Mountain so fun was the build up to the drop when
Yeah,
you're going up and the vultures are like time to be turning around. If only you could. And
we'll
it's like,
show you a laughing
and you're just
play.
like, oh my gosh. Like it scares you a little bit the
Yeah,
first time
as a
you
kid,
go.
right? Yeah, it's kind of daunting, and then you get up top, and there's Brer Fox's shadow silhouette cast against Brer Rabbit tied around a spit, and I
Right.
mean,
It's like the way it just built tension was just I don't know that it's ever been matched for a roller coaster before. It's or a roller coaster or any ride before. Maybe not a non-roller coaster, but please, like that's the one thing that you have to make sure you get right is like in my one I mean, obviously there's a lot you have to get right, but the build up to the drop, super important. Gotta build that suspense.
oh, absolutely, and I mean, like Doctor Facilier is such a great villain, so and uh like creepy in his own right. He's like a good creepy villain. So yeah, there's so much material they can work with here. They've got to nail it. And I
If
think they know
Disney
that.
can bring back characters from the dead in Star Wars, they can do it in Princess and
Oh
the
yeah,
Frog as well.
yeah.
Okay, so that's one more attraction. I almost forgot. Big
Can't
Thunder
forget
Mountain.
Big Thunder.
The wildest ride in the wilderness.
Yeah, this one's safe. I mean, this is with Splash, going through its retheme right now. This is the staple of Frontierland. Um, I think it's fun. It kind of takes the sort of silly spirit of Pirates of the Caribbean and the Haunted Mansion, and applies it to like the gold miners um, from those days. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's a classic and it's here to stay.
I agree as well. I think it's one of the most popular Disney attractions. There's always a ridiculously long wait for it. I think it's super fun, and I think even if by a slim chance that Disney decides they're going to retheme Frontierland, they would still find a way to keep Big Thunder Mountain because that's this is a popular
Yeah,
attraction.
You know, nah, we can save that discussion for another podcast episode. You know,
Okay,
considering what a Frontierland retheme would look like if if they were to rename it or something.
right on.
Because I think of all the lands in the Magic Kingdom, Frontierland would be the one to get a transformation.
Yeah, I could see that. All right, well, that has been the speculating part. Stay if you like as we rank our top 5 Disney World shops.
So next week or next time we really only have Adventureland, and then that's it for the Magic Kingdom, right?
That's it, but there's
Dang.
quite a bit to talk about with
Oh yeah,
Adventureland, I think. So,
plenty to talk about. My personal favorite land in the Magic Kingdom.
why don't you
All
go on
right,
ahead
so
and start
top
us
five
off with the
shops.
Yep.
Alrighty. So my number 5 shop is gonna be Memento Mori, the gift shop outside the Haunted Mansion. And it's at number 5 right now because I say that because it would be higher on my list, but since COVID, they've stripped that shop bare compared to what it used to be, and
Hmm.
I mean, it's filled with those kind of weird looking cartoon things that really aren't creepy. I don't know who buys those things, but it's just underwhelming now. But I love the eye out front that sort of follows you regardless depending on where you go. They've got that cool experience with the lenticular picture frame that you have.
Yeah,
Um,
that's one of my favorites.
so it's still a neat shop. Uh, and before COVID, when it was like packed full of stuff, it was so fun to go. And I have fond memories of that. So that's why it's at number 5.
That's yeah, that's I think that happened with a lot of shops with COVID.
Yeah,
Like there are a lot of stores that just like they haven't returned to their pre-COVID state, it seems.
there's another one on my list that I'm gonna also talk about that with, but we'll wait until we get to
Number 5 for me is the Emporium and the
that.
Magic
Okay,
Kingdom.
nice.
That's one of those stores that you're just like, if I'm not careful, I'm gonna max out my credit card. I haven't done that yet, but it's one of those. It's just like everything I need is in here, of course, and you have to stop yourself and be like, nope, nope, nope. Gotta wait for the rest of the day. But it's just, like one of those things. It's like one that I normally like to hit on my way out. It's just like, all right, see what I have left over for today, and enough gas to
Yeah,
get home
exactly.
too.
Exactly. And it helps you take a nice air conditioned stroll down Main Street.
Yes, and going through all the other shops too is just kind of fun way to avoid the crowds and everybody
Yeah.
lined up to get their picture. I understand why they do it. It's a cool experience, but still.
I love, I don't give Disney enough credit for this, but the way that you can essentially walk down the entire strip of Main Street on either side, except on the right side. Once you hit Starbucks, you can't go any further than that. But I think it is a cool way to experience Main Street. Each shop has its own little theme to it, so you don't feel like you're walking through the same shop all the way down the road. So no, it's a good one to have on your top 5.
That is, I just thought about this. That's a little dangerous though when you're going with Taylor, my sister, your fiance, because she'll want to shop in all of them. And it's like, we're going to miss our reservation. We might have to go back out into Main Street. But
Yeah, well, we
anyways,
just we can just leave her there and we'll go to the reservation. She can catch up with us.
exactly.
All right. My number 4 is the Main Street Confectionery.
Ooh,
So right across the right across the way. Um, I just I love walking in there first thing when I get into Magic Kingdom, unless we're rope dropping it, of course. Um, the smell, watching the people make the candy and the chocolate. I think they did a really great job nailing uh, this shop. And while I don't always get candy when I'm in there, I always like to experience this shop and just bask in its aroma. I can smell it now. Just that very sweet smell. Oh,
Do you need one
love
of those candles from the Magic Candle Company?
it. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Give me that confectionery smell.
Oh yeah, we have my mom always went there. She was big into health food, but she always got this giant ice cream sandwich every time. And for several years in a row, we have a picture of her with her giant ice cream sandwich. And there's one where her and my cousin Ashley are both eating these giant ice cream sandwiches, and they both have their Disney ponchos.
No, wait, is that it? They get it from the confectionery, or
Yeah,
are you talking about the
I thought it was the confectionery. I might be
ice
thinking of
cream
something else.
place of
Oh,
the?
it might be the ice cream place. I thought the confectionery had.
No, I think the confectionery just has like the chocolate and stuff like that.
Oh,
But the I think isn't it called like Plaza ice cream or something like that?
well, I feel stupid.
It's at the other end. But hey, it's
Oh
all
yeah,
sweet shit.
Plaza Ice Cream Parlor.
That's
Whoops,
right. Hey, but
I
that's
got them
another
mixed
great
up.
one. Speaking of great smells, that one has some of the best too.
So for me, my number four is the marketplace merchants in Galaxy's Edge.
Okay,
It's
okay.
so fun walking through all those stores and just finding a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff that you're just like a lot of it is like a lot of there's a lot of like there's a lot of stuff themed towards the movies, which is cool. I wish they would have more stuff for like the attraction, like Rise of the Resistance. Like I wish they had a
Mm,
T-shirt for it, but it's still cool to walk through there, and it's like you kind of feel like you're in a Star Wars movie when you're walking through buying stuff.
yeah, yeah. I like those too. Now, is that whole area considered like one shop then, marketplace merchants?
That's what I saw on the map.
Okay,
And it
cool.
has like them like the little other shops listed, but I think it'd be difficult for them to numerically label each
Right.
shop because it's such a small area.
Yeah, and each store itself is like the size of a small bedroom. So, you know,
I apparently can't remember what all's on Main Street USA, so good luck with me trying to remember where all those stores are in the merchant marketplace.
I think they did a good job making that part feel a little claustrophobic, like a marketplace like that, it's supposed to feel a little tight and crowded. But
Exactly.
they did a good job, I think, making it feel tight without making it feel too like crowded, like you're jammed in there, you know?
Yeah,
I'm sure they use some kind of forced perspective to make it feel like that.
they're
But
good at that.
yeah, yeah. Alrighty. My number three then is going to be the the shop in the Japanese pavilion,
Oh,
Mitsukoshi, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I am. But yeah, oh my gosh, definitely one of my favorite parts of the World Showcase is going through this shop. Um, yeah, I'm not huge into like manga or anime, um, so that stuff doesn't grab me as much. But just looking at the different things like the pearl, the pearl diving. There's some
mm-hmm.
artists sometimes. Um, the Japanese pavilion itself is a really neat place at Epcot. Going through the store and kind of experiencing some of the things in there that you see throughout the pavilion itself is it's fun. It's an immersive place to be. Probably my favorite shop in the World Showcase. Well, it is my favorite shop in the World Showcase because there are no other shops on the World Showcase in my list.
That's yeah. I mean, that is a that one in China are like two of the coolest shops because it just shows off a lot of like a lot of their pop culture, and it's like
Yeah,
and like just their like folklore culture as well. You're like, this is some like pretty neat
right.
stuff. Like you're just kind of looking like some stuff I didn't know was big in that culture, and they've got sections of it. It's like this is pretty neat.
Oh, in the China Pavilion, they have like different flavored, like Lay's chips.
Oh
Can't
yeah,
remember some
I'm
of the
too
names
scared
of
to
them,
try
but
those
oh,
just because of
I'm
how
sure
much they
they're good.
cost.
Yeah, true, true. For a bag of chips, it's a little expensive, but it's Disney. What are you gonna do?
Take all my money.
Yep.
Anyways, so for me, I don't really know what it's been renamed to, but the my number three is what used to be known as the Tomorrowland Light and Power Company Space Mountain gift shop. Space Mountain's my favorite ride, so it's one of those shops that I can just go crazy in because there's so much stuff there that I would decorate my apartment with it if I could. I do love that they finally included some people mover stuff. The last time we went, that shop was closed because of the Tron construction. But
Yeah.
before that, in 2021, I remember I found that people mover hat that said like I survived the people mover. I sure hope anybody would, but um I also found that or that people mover water bottle, and I'm like, this is awesome that they finally have gear for the people mover.
That's the one with paging Mr. Morrow.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's a cool water bottle. Yeah, also excited for that gift shop to come back.
It is back, but it's I don't know. I haven't looked a whole lot into it.
Oh, okay, right. Well, is Tron officially open now?
Yeah, Tron's open.
Okay, okay, that opened last month.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right. So my number two is Wind Traders, which is the gift shop in Pandora, World of
Okay.
Avatar. The one right after you get off of Flight of Passage. So yeah, this is the other one I was referring to that COVID kind of hit. When I actually had the opportunity to visit this gift shop on opening day when they first opened World of Avatar to the public, and it was just wildly incredible. Just the stuff they had in there was so creative. Like even the candy, they had these like unique candy that looked like it came from Pandora. They had the experience with the banshees that you can wear on your shoulder. Um, they had some cool lamps like based off the bioluminescent plants in Pandora. They even had like this little toy that had the floating piece of unobtainium on it. And a lot of this stuff they just don't carry anymore or don't have anymore. And I'm pretty sure this happened when COVID came along and kind of forced them to make some more space in the shop. Um, but just the look of the shop itself, the theming is really cool. You can get an action figure made that I guess looks like you. I've never done that because I don't know. It's not something that interests me, but they just they really popped off for Wind Traders. And even though it's not as awesome as it used to be, it's still awesome. And that's why it's at number two.
That is a pretty cool shop. I can't recall that I haven't purchased anything from there yet, but just the Avatar stuff all just looks cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So my number two is probably the most dangerous store for any Disney fan, and that is World of Disney. There is anything you want, just about anything you want for a Disney themed item is all there. Like honest, maybe ride specific stuff, not so much, but I, I one thing I love about that store too is the just the way they manage the checkout lines and everything, and how many registers I always have working. Like I wish more stores were like this because it's
Oh
like
my
it's just so
gosh, yeah.
efficient.
Right. I mean, it's packed crowded in there. This is my number one, by the way, so we can just keep talking about
Perfect.
it. Yeah, yeah. It's always crowded in there. But you still manage to get around somehow, and you're still able to look at the stuff that you want to. But holy cow, they've got everything there. It's just a really cool place to be, and like you said, you could seriously end up walking out there with bags of merch.
Oh yeah,
So
without being a price gouger too.
right, right. So I mean, honestly, they did great with the refurb of that place too. A couple years back, I think. Um, just blows me away. They've got a ton of cool stuff in
So my number one is actually your number five, the Memento Mori.
there. Oh, okay, all right.
That is like I remember in 2018 when I went to visit you and Taylor in Disney World, and that was
Yeah,
when I got the picture, the one that I could be a skeleton or I could be,
Oh, the
a
lenticular frame. Yeah.
human. Yeah. And I just remember going through there and I told Taylor, I'm like, you got to get me out of here before I spend all my money. Just, like they have like, the portraits of from the stretching room. They have all the Madame Leota figurines. Like that's like Space Mountain. It's like if I could, I would decorate my apartment with Haunted Mansion stuff. It's just like I'm just always looking around like, man, this would be so awesome to have. This would be so awesome to have. I need more wall space.
Right. Right. No, it's they can pack a lot in there, and I really hope they kind of restore it to how it needs to be.
I hope they
Here soon.
expand it as well because that store can get a little packed, and it's not a very big store.
Yeah, and you look at like the Pirates gift store, and it's like double the size of Memento Mori.
It's huge.
It's like they're both on equal levels in terms of classic Disney ride. You know, um, one could honestly argue that Haunted Mansion is probably a little bit more popular, but honestly, that's probably we could probably track that with wait times. I feel like Haunted Mansion is always longer than Pirates. I know
I have to
Pirates
look.
can get up there, but I feel like typically when I look, Haunted Mansion is longer. So it deserves a bigger shop. Come on.
I agree. All right. Well, this has been a fun podcast. Join us next week as we talk about speculating Adventureland and the Magic Kingdom.
Don't forget to follow at Trader Sam Eagle on Instagram.
Trader.sam.eagle.
Trader.sam.eagle.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a Trader Sam Eagle, but you got to include the dots in there if you want to
Yeah,
get the right page.
I'm sure it pop up if you don't include the dots. But yeah,
Eventually.
follow that. Keep updated on our podcast and submit your comments or questions, feedback, all that sort of stuff.
We will see you all later.